Alright, Eloise's car breaks down on a country road. She starts walking toward home at a rate of 1.5 miles an hour. After 2 hours, she is 10 miles from home. Which equation in point-slope form models this situation? Okay, the first thing that I'm going to notice is that she starts walking toward her house, so that however far away she is starts decreasing because she's walking towards her home. So the initial distance decreases since walking home. The reason I'm noticing that is because that is going to indicate a negative slope. Because if you think about it, she is at time 0 when she breaks down. She is somewhere. We are not sure how far away she is. So at time 0, we don't know how far away she is. We just know that she is walking towards home. So as time increases, so time is going this way. So as time goes on, her miles decrease. So miles is right here. So her miles would go down because she's getting closer to home. So that's just what I'm noticing first about the negative slope. So the next thing, talking about slope, there are a few key words. Rate. Anytime they use per, a speed, if they give you a speed. Slope is just a change of like miles an hour. So it's telling us how many miles she changes per hour. And so I'm looking for a speed rate, and they state it right here, a rate of 1.5 miles an hour. So that means her slope, which is represented by m, is equal to 1.5 miles per hour. Now, since she's walking towards home, she's decreasing her miles away from home, so that's why it's going to be negative. The next thing I'm going to ask myself is there a point? So they give us that there's 2 hours and she is 10 miles away from home. So I have to know, when I'm talking about an x and a y coordinate, is the x coordinate the independent and the y coordinate is the dependent. So the question I'm going to ask is, does the time depend on the miles covered? Or does the miles covered depend on the time? So right here she's walking 1.5 miles per hour. So the miles covered depends on the time because we're doing miles per hour. So since miles are dependent on the time, that means right here that is depending. So the miles depend on time. So miles go in for the dependent, which is your y coordinate, and then your hours are your input, your independent. So when we're talking about creating an x and y coordinate for the point, we know that it is now in the x coordinates represented by hours, so it's 2 hours and she has traveled 10 miles. So when we use the equation for point slope form, we have y minus our initial y coordinate is equal to our slope times x minus the initial x coordinate. So when we have this, we're going to substitute. We know our slope is negative 1.5, so wherever you see m, you're going to replace that. We know that our first x coordinate is 2, and so we're going to replace this with a 2. And since our y coordinate is 10, we will replace our y1 with 10. So this is the equation that I'm looking for. Y minus 10 is equal to negative 1.5 times x minus 2. So y minus 10 is equal to negative 1.5 times x minus 2.